Hello everyone, I am Michael Talks, today's host of some very good news. A few days ago, a news story about 5 First Nation kids was uncovered while excavating at a First Nation school on Penelkid Island. Now, who knows what that is? Nobody does. Well, let me tell you. It is situated just off the coast of Vancouver Island. Now, that island was formerly known as Cooper Island, but it was renamed in 2010 in honor of the Penelkid people, which I think is just absolutely correct. Now, over to Jim, who's at the island.
Thank you. Yes, Michael. At this very school, we have been able to find and excavate enough stories, diaries, and different notes from the teachers about the 5 students to be able to recreate a pretty accurate timeline of those 5 students at the school and have their stories written and shared with everyone. Now back to you, Michael.
Thank you, Jim. So here I have a summary of the 5 students right here. We were able to find information on Will, Joey, Monica, Nelson, but sadly we weren't able to gather much information on Dusty. So their journey begins when they were taken away when they were going to their day school just north of Victoria. They were taken away by white men in nice black cars, which I would love to see in person. Then they were transported in a ferry/fishing boat to Penelkid Island. There they were separated from each other. Monica and Dusty both went into the girls' area. William, Nelson, and Joey were taken into the boys' area. There, the boys were split up even more into their different age group. Our first story is about Will, who suffered a fate like many other children did in the residential school. He was not used to the really disgusting, sometimes even rotting and poisonous food, and his health deteriorated over the following weeks. He was not able to eat anything, and he was sent to the school's hospital. There, he fell into a coma. He was out for many days, and the school decided that they couldn't keep him anymore, so they sent him back home. Next, we have Joey. He lived in the residential school for almost 6 years. He was sent away when he was 5, and when he was 11 years old, he met up with Stumpy, a new kid that arrived at the residential school a few days ago. He was incredibly short, just like me, and he got the nickname Stumpy. Relatable. Together, they hatched a plan to escape. Now, the stakes were high back then, because if you escaped and got caught, sometimes you would get whipped, tortured, sometimes even to death, which is just horrendous. Like, why would you do that to kids? They don't deserve it. Luckily, those 2 boys were clever enough to escape on their own canoes. They woke up really early one morning, and they paddled away on their canoes to the mainland. There, they started to walk down to Victoria. After walking for 2 days, I can't even go on a 2-kilometer walk. And when they reached Victoria, they met up with Joey's uncle, who then drove them to his mother's house. His mother was incredibly scared of the white school people, so she sent him back to the school, which I think is just wrong, and I think she just abandoned her child. Next, we have Monica. Her story is incredibly sad, and she suffered the most of all her friends. Now, what happened to her happened a lot to most of the schoolgirls. First of all, she got her precious haircut, which is incredibly important to the First Nation people. Every girl suffered a fate like that, and it's just incredibly sad. And I don't even understand why the school people cared about hair. I mean, it's just hair. But anyways, when she went to the school, she did many chores, and she was even sadly sexually and racially abused by the school teachers and principal. Thankfully, from what we have, is that Monica survived those experiences and lived happily ever on for the rest of her life. Finally, we have Nelson. He was a rough kid. He had his bad times, but what's important to note is that he did fight back against his school teachers and principals, and for that he got his respect from his peers. He would not let a school bully him and ruin his life, so he fought and ended up leaving the school quite peacefully, thankfully. Now, over to Dwight.
Thank you, Michael. Now, I've been trying to get in touch with the 5. Sadly, Wills and Monica both passed away in 2010, and we have not been able to contact Nelson. Lucky for us, though, we have been able to contact Joe, and he's on the phone right now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Joey, we can hear you right now. Passing on to Michael. Have fun.
Well, hello there, Joey. Everyone here probably wants to know what happened after you arrived back at the residential school.
Well, it was terrifying. I remember being terrified on the boat right there. When I got there, the teachers were different, as in they got replaced, and they didn't know who I was. And I played their game, but there were always kids ready to rat me out, so I had to watch out for them. It was incredibly hard.
Wow. But how was your life after residential school?
Oh, it was perfect for a man like me. I went off to live in Nanaimo where I started a log business. It's still doing great.
Well, I think that's completely wonderful. Thank you for your time and have a great day. Now, Jim has some more information that they have recovered a few minutes ago. Over to Jim.
Welcome back. We have been doing some more excavating around the school, and as it turns out, 1 in 50 children that would arrive at the school would be dead within a few weeks, which is just incredibly sad. But what we have found that is really interesting, that multiple underground corridors that are located under the school. From what we have here is that the principal at one point wanted to start a gold mine and use the children as his slaves to do the mining for him for free. Luckily, the Canadian government catched on to his crimes and he was arrested. But what I find really interesting is that the Canadian government did not shut down the school. They still kept it up for more First Nation kids to be captured and sent to the school, which I find incredibly interesting. Now that's it for me. Now back to Michael.
Well, it looks like the school is incredibly monstrous, just like many other schools in that time. Personally, I think that is inhuman, and what happened in the past, I can't completely comprehend how people would be so devilish and mean to children. Personally, I would have died off in a few weeks. I'm not that strong of a person. Well, I'm happy that that time is over and people are starting to heal over the damage that people have caused back in the past. And now before we head out today, a huge windstorm happened a few weeks ago on Vancouver Island. It caused many power outages, roads to be blocked, and trees have fallen onto houses and destroyed people's homes. Now, if you want to hear more about this disaster that happened a few weeks ago, please stick with us until our next segment. Bye!